Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
What is up, all art bro turkeys?
Turkeys indeed. So yeah, this is we might as well just call this the 1K celebration because I've got my box wine. I'm ready to kill it now. You know, so what happens?
Oh, you guys are turning Joe into an alky.
Dude, I got to, man. It's called Liquid Courage for us introverts.
Liquid Courage.
So yeah, we've got some people already coming to say hi.
It's awesome.
Super Jerry's in the house. Super Jerry 27. Christine, I saw you made a retweet for us, I think. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mo Biggs.
Appreciate
you being here, doing your wrench thing. And George is showing up. Awesome. Good stuff. And Alex. Good to see you, Alex. Nice. I see all you guys on Twitters. It's awesome to see you guys here. So, Jeremy, how you been, bro?
I'm doing all right, dude. I got my job completed with Tales of Zero, so just waiting to do the final steps on that, and then get started on a second job that I got for covers. I believe it's line and color. So kind of got that up on the screen, ready to go. But yeah. Awesome, that's what's happening over here.
Well, that's the business. What anything interesting? I mean,
coins are coming to everybody that beckoned. We've got 2 more weeks before they get to me from the mentors, and then I'll get those packaged up and sent out to everybody that backed. But our comic is coming along fine. You gave me some updates. I haven't addressed all the points that you put on there because I've got two points that I'm still wrestling with that I mentioned to you. But other than that,
moving along.
These jobs are kind of done. I'm ready to get rendering out and keep moving.
I was about to pour my wine. Star Circuit's going great. We hit 17K. I don't know, a few days ago, but it's nice. We're in demand. So with in demand stuff, it's odd. It's like you almost get just as many as you do during the normal campaign. People are just they trickle in. As long as I get one a day, I'm feeling good about myself. So
I'm gonna have to interview you on what in demand is like.
I will. It'll be the in demand exclusive. So so yeah, we've got a lot of things going on tonight. We got another double feature with a couple great creators. Before we talk about that, I want to do another little update for Star Circuit. As far as production goes, I'm working on getting everything print ready for sending off to obviously the printers. But before that, I got to figure out UPCs because I'm planning on getting them into local comic shops. So before I send it off, I want the UPC on the back. And also, I just bought a house, so I've got to move into that place. And so now it's like this weird in between where I got to figure out exactly where I'm going to ship everything when it's printed. So that's kind of holding me back. You're still going to get your books probably in June, but probably late June, end of June. So all depending on the printer, actually. But that's the update. I'm pouring some wine because we hit 1K. Thank you, everybody.
And we got Manda B, Not My Monkeys, K Manifesto. Oh yeah, another full house, Joe. A sexy looking chat, if I might not say myself.
Well, it's probably because of me. They come for
probably because of what?
Me and my face, dude. It's what sells my books. It's what.
Oh no, we just lost 3 watchers.
Oh, dude. Let me. So I'm gonna intro some guests, and then I'm gonna pour some wine, and I'm gonna cheers you, if you have a drink. But
Water.
cool,
I'm
dude.
working.
That works. That works for me. So we've got 2 guests. Our first guest is one that I've seen through Lucifer Storm.
Yes.
It's another UK creator, I believe, or at least associated with the UK guys. Arya Black's here. What's up, Arya?
Yo, let me say congratulations for 1K, dude. Well done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
It's really, even though it's my channel, I consider it Jeremy's victory as well, because he's been here for the stream, putting a lot into that. So.
Yeah, you guys are a dynamic duo. Double.
Yeah.
Right. Soon we're gonna actually have an art. I'm sure eventually we'll make some Art Pro T-shirts too, because that'll be really cool. But the Art Pro thing has been real nice. Thanks for the compliment, man.
Also, yeah, I am CG UK. I live in Wales.
Awesome. I didn't know exactly. You never, especially for us Americanos.
So I'm one of only 2 in CG Wales. We're small, but we're mighty.
CG Wales, hail CG Wales.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we don't only have just one guest. We have 2 guests tonight. It's a double feature. He's already popping up in the chat before I can introduce him. He's doing his first book. He's drawing his first book, his debut book, The Embrace, with Thor, Odin himself, who's writing it. But we've got Dean here. Dean James, what's up?
Hey, Dean.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, sorry, I was muted. G'day, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for having me on, Joe.
Dude, no problem, man. I wanted to have you on ever since we've been trying to get we were trying to hook up for doing your Comics Mate show, and
right,
dude, the time zones are so hard. Even though I have the calendar set up,
exactly.
I'm like,
yeah, well, like we were just talking about that behind the scenes. Like right now, whatever time it is for you guys, it's only just hit 9 a.m. for me. Like I haven't even had breakfast yet. So
yeah, it almost is like I feel like we're like in the movie of the One, and you're in like another parallel universe.
Google Mark Rubele and his Wake Up Jam, dude. That'll get you going.
Okay.
I think I hit Joe up with that this morning. Something. I had a good morning. Getting some comics done and everything. I was like, dude, you guys wake the F up and let's get going.
Very cool.
Heck yeah. I had to pour my wine. Last time I poured my wine out of my box, it sounds like I'm pissing. So I put it on mute this time. That way it wasn't so awkward. Last time it was like stream destroying. I think we lost a few followers after that. But I made sure to mute this time. But cheers, guys, to 1K. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all you guys coming on. Yeah.
You can't see me, but I'm also cheering.
You got that energy drink, right?
Yeah.
Over cheers.
Big can of V right now.
Excellent. So I feel like from going on all the streams that I've been on, I'm sure Jeremy has picked up a few things, but we're kind of continually adding new stuff to the kind of interview process. And I think like the best thing we can do, everybody's congratulating us already. Word Crackhead is congrats. Crack Pack. Nefarious is here as well. But I was gonna say that I picked up a few things. I want to ask a few different questions that I don't normally ask. And because everybody wants to start out with like, where did you start out with comics? I want to start with, what do you do outside of comics? Like what makes you, because to me, what makes a good comic is kind of all the things that you pull from outside of comics. Like your life is where you're pulling from. So what makes you interesting, or rather what's interesting about maybe your life that you've cultivated, or maybe you're just living the dream or whatever. But tell me a little bit about your life. Anybody
read off your dating profile description.
Yes.
Do you really want me to read off my dating profile description? I can do that.
Dude, if it's good,
It's not bad. It goes. It's something like it goes. You draw me like one of those French girls. Me. Okay. Yeah, it works. So
It worked.
Hey, that's a good line.
It's not bad, dude. In fact,
Yeah.
I use the same line on my girlfriend as well. Not in the
He
same way.
has to keep using the line.
The line, the
Nice.
line.
well, yeah.
All right.
When it comes to comic books and things, I don't know. Outside of comic books, like just all general pop culture, nerdy sort of things. Like I don't look like a nerd at all, but I'm one of the biggest nerds you will ever meet when it comes to any. Like I build computers, I play video games, I draw my comic books and stuff.
I don't
read
know if you
comic
play
books
video
and-
games. I don't know. Do you play Beckon? I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I've
I don't
beckoned
know.
on
I
Steam.
don't know.
I've beckoned on Steam. How do you not know that?
Dude, come on, dude. He left a big review. He hated it. Joking.
Yeah, it's all just just all the general movie and all that. Like I watch some anime, but I'm not a weeb. It's just the things I grew up with in the '90s, and
So, but
I'm very much a product of my childhood.
Are you like a rural Australian? Or are you a city boy out there?
I'm technically a city boy, but I'm right on the edge. If I leave my house and turn right, it's into the country. If I leave my house and turn left, it's into the city.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on the
Just
end of
trying
the
to-
line where we are.
Trying to fill in the gaps that we don't normally see. I think that's the point of the question. I want to see what's up. So, Aria, what's up with you?
Yeah, I think that's a tricky question for Dean and I because we're probably like so far down the rabbit hole of comics. It's
Right?
like literally, I wake up, I draw, I go to bed. It's every day.
Yep.
But other than comics, I'm really into boxing and martial arts.
No, Jim.
So-
Jim just asked if the Comics Mate channel is being discontinued. No, I don't know why he would ask that. We did a stream yesterday.
Maybe it's just him. Maybe it's banned on his IP address.
Maybe he's the guy I accidentally blocked on YouTube. I accidentally blocked someone on YouTube, and I don't know who it was. So
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Whoops.
Next time.
Yeah.
So you're saying you like martial arts in general, or do you practice at all? Or
Yeah. Well, I would be boxing if it weren't for lockdowns. So, I'm a fan of boxing, UFC, all that.
Nice.
It's literally I'm not drawing comics. I'm watching UFC. So
Very cool.
Hell yeah, I love me some UFC.
yeah.
Did you see that guy break his leg the other day?
Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Man.
Sorry.
Yep.
And
It
he
happened
goes
to
to stand on
Silva,
it.
and now it happened here. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think that hurt me, the viewer, more than it hurt him. I cringed
he
so
didn't
hard,
even
I
notice.
went into another dimension.
Because he breaks his leg around that guy's leg, and then he doesn't even realize and goes
Yeah,
to
the
stand on it.
adrenaline.
Says,
It's
oh,
the adrenaline. Step right back on that wet noodle, dude, and it just.
It's very much reminiscent of Bloodsport. Yeah.
Oof.
Brought back the Bloodsport memories. So that's pretty cool. I'm somewhat Jedi gave me the name Catapano because I've done some martial arts, dabbling into here and there.
Catapano.
Catapano is what they call me around here.
Nice.
So we relate. This is cool. We've got things to talk about if we ever burned all our books. So
Yeah, Catapano claims that he's fought in secret tournaments in the backwoods in the middle of the night where people like punch pencils through their hands and fight like that. Like he's got some stories, man.
Yes. Whatever he said it, yes. so you both have awesome books that well, Dean I've seen way more of because Aria, your book's in the coming soon sign up stage.
Yeah, Dean's a bit further ahead in the process than me, but
Correct.
Yeah, we only have a couple days left before we actually close. So
Cool. So maybe we whoever's up for it, whoever wants to pull up their page first, can you bring it up and I'll link it in to
well, it's the middle of the night for Aria, so let him go
Roll for
first.
initiative.
Okay. Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Hail to Cyberpunk Catapano art. Yes. Hail to
Hail.
everyone that subscribed this week and helped us out. And anybody who's backed recently for Star Circuit, appreciate it. It's incredible. So On to other things and better things. The Adventures of Tailless in Outer Space. Maybe
Let me just say quickly hi to the CG UK guys I see in the chat. Thanks for staying up. Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I sent them all the messages beforehand saying, "Hey, come watch it." Even though I know you've heard this all before, come watch.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love the you got the hype crew. They're coming to hype you up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's good.
But yeah, this is The Adventures of Tailless in Outer Space, which is my solo book. So I'm the writer, creator, artist, absolutely everything in this book is all done by myself. And so this is really a book for fans of classic Saturday morning cartoons like the Thundercats, Transformers, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that good stuff. Shows like He-Man, all that. I even though it's slightly before my generation, I'm only 22, but it's the stuff I grew up on. I was watching all those shows, particularly stuff like X-Men animated series, Batman animated series. So
yes,
if you're a fan of that, you're gonna love it. It's full of nostalgia, full of lighthearted 90s style, just sci-fi and pure action. So
heck yeah. I didn't know you
Phantasm.
You kind of, maybe the hair maybe hides your age or something. I don't know what it is. Definitely you look older than maybe 22, but that's cool that you know all the things that me and Jeremy, the old geezers here. And Dean's pretty close to our age too, right? How old are you, Dean?
I'm 30. I mean, no one believes me, but I am.
Yeah, I don't believe you either. So we'll just pretend you're 28. But yeah, me and Jeremy are in our 30s, so it makes sense that we would know him. But yeah, what made you go back and watch, and what got you into those older stuff?
Oh, well, the thing is, right, I was born in Mexico. I now live in Wales because I have a Welsh mother, Mexican father. And when we moved to Wales, my father obviously brought a whole bunch of stuff for me to keep me entertained. And he brought me like all these VHS tapes, like X-Men animated series, He-Man, Thundercats, all that good stuff. But the thing is, they were all in Spanish. And even at 22 years old, I've never learned to speak Spanish fluently. And so at the time, it was just cool images and loud noises.
No subtitles or anything?
I would be way too young to be reading subtitles at the time. But like when you see the X-Men animated series title card pop up, like I have that tune engraved in my memory because of all these old VHS tapes, and that's how I got into it. And now, watching cartoons that are on today, they just do not compare to the stuff I grew up on. Even though I couldn't understand what they were saying, just the action and the way they told the stories through visuals. That's what's inspired me to.
Yeah, that's insane. You're like a good test case because you didn't even know what was going on. It still made it to your top favorites of cartoons. That's awesome.
Well, comics are visual medium, right? So you have to be able to tell the story visually. Same goes for cartoons and movies and all that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, some have some are more visually, I guess, entertaining or dynamic, but they don't follow through too much with the story. I'm trying to think of a couple really, I guess, good examples of that.
I think back then it was imperative that you caught the attention to sell the toys, and before that or during that, as opposed to now you can go to school and get a very filtered, structured diagram of how is the best practices, what is the best thing. So everyone that gets farted out of those schools end up doing the same thing. They're not exploring it as much as a lot of people are finding those new twists like they were back in the 90s when they didn't have those schools. So I'm chucking my coin onto that philosophy on this. So,
like animation schools,
you say
anything.
I agree with you.
What we're doing visually. Back then it was still kind of wild. Now that we got the internet, everybody's sharing that information and all that stuff. But right before that internet thing caught on, we had colleges and a lot of liberal art schools that were kind of teaching everybody, here's the way we do it. Marvel and DC, just like video game, companies, they all do it their own way. Ergo, they've minimized it to the most efficient way to do it to kick it out for the monetization.
Right.
And when you get into more like the experimental or explorative stuff, like basically how it was in the 90s, I'd imagine, from my viewpoint, you get a lot of original stuff that just sticks harder. Kind of like what Ari's talking about is just stuff now kind of doesn't have that depth or that feeling or that grab.
Oh, yeah.
Back then they had to find it. There wasn't anything to go off of.
So I'm definitely stoked for what you got here, Aria. I do agree with what Jeremy's saying. Something about, I think, like things like Turtles like inspired dozens and dozens of people to create. But I love Thundercats. Thundercats is one of my favorite things ever, and IPs rather. And I'm glad you're in the same vein. What's Tailless about? Can you give too much anything about it so far?
So picture a galaxy, a universe where these superpowered villains exist, and they're terrorizing the galaxy. There exists this police force in outer space which are tasked to deal with these bad guys, but obviously the bad guys have superpowers, and they're a little too much for the police force to handle. So that's why you need someone like Tailless, who's an intergalactic vigilante. And whilst he has no powers to speak of, he is very much like an intergalactic Batman type of character. He's got these crazy wits. He's got a belt full of gadgets and tricks up his sleeve. And he's got this really cool gun, his laser pistol, which has the ability to transform into other gadgets and other weapons to help get him out of sticky situations. And then on top of that, he has his eyes in the sky, Jet. That's let me show you. That's this character here, the green bird character. He's the other half of the team, where Tailless is the front man of this team. He's sort of like the Han Solo, the brave, handsome type that will dive headfirst into action. Jet's more of the brains, and he's also the pilot of this ship. So when there's action on, he'll usually be high in the sky above it all, giving Tailless directions, info on what to do, sending him new gadgets, sending him technology to help him out, all that sort of stuff. He's the wingman, hence why he's a bird. And
that's perfect. I like that pun. I was going to say that the name Tailless, what's the name Tailless?
Right. So like the first half of the book is going to be the story part of the book, but then the second half is the bonus material, where I'll be including stories like this in this massive bonus material section. But the name, I'll tell you now, the name Tailless is kind of redundant. So when I first came up with the name, also it's spelled incorrectly. I put hyphen in there because I'm not good at spelling, but I was like 16 when I came up with the name. So I was even worse at spelling then. And so when I first created him, he was a totally different character. He was like this skinny, he was kind of a bad guy as well. I thought of him as like a thief. He'd be
is
like
that first sketch image? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah. So back in the early days. And he was going to be the only character without the tail. They were all going to be really cartoony animal type characters. So the idea was he'd lost his tail in a heist gone wrong, and then people called him Tailless as an insult. They're like, you're a bad thief, you're tailless now. But then eventually I discovered like 90s comic books and that sort of thing, and that's more my speed. And he turned from this like skinny cartoon character to this shredded He-Man type character in outer space. And like I draw in the other characters that surround him. They didn't look right with tails on. Like, it's hard to draw sexy ladies with tails. It looks a bit weird, to be honest. So, surrounding him with other characters like that, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a proper 90s comic book. So no one's got tails, yet he's still called Tailless, because I thought maybe I should think of a different name for him. So I came up with a bunch of names, and every name I came up with, it just didn't sound right to me. So I came up with a long list of names. Couldn't think of. It'd been so long at that point. I've been calling him Tailless. None of them fit. So it's just Tailless, the Adventures of Tailless in Outer Space.
When it works, because usually, I don't know. I feel like every name kind of sounds dumb when you're making your book. You're like Jim. Who's gonna name? What kind of idiot names their kid Jim? And then you think of Atlas or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, you think of a name, you're like, oh, everybody's named that, or that's a stupid name. But Tailless is kind of original. At least you have a backstory for it. As far as like how you came up with that's at least that means something. As far as it doesn't really matter as long as you make it matter. So that's pretty cool. What else can you what can you tell us about like what the campaign's going to be about? I see 6 mini comics. What's a mini comic mean to you?
So the reason I say this is like Saturday morning cartoons is because Tailless up to this point has been told through short anthology style stories. So each mini comic is 8 pages. Mm-hmm. And before I came to Indiegogo, I was releasing them via eBay and selling them by eBay. And I did the first 4 books like that through eBay. So some people have already read them. And what you're going to get in this collected edition is they're all going to be bound together for the first time, all the original 4, plus then 2 mini comics that have never been seen before. They're complete now, but no one's ever read them. So they're going to be included in the book. Brand new content for anyone who wants to get on this, who has already read the first few. And then also we have this unlockable 7th mini comic, which is kind of a special one. As soon as we hit full funding on the campaign, we're going to unlock the 7th mini comic. It's special for 2 reasons. Number one, because it's going to take the page count of story content to over 50 pages. And then number 2, because this is a prelude book. It's a prelude to the first full-size Tailless issue. Mm-hmm. Like I said, these are 7 mini comics. They're short 8-page stories. Just a glimpse, different glimpses into the life of Tailless. Like in each one, he fights a brand new bad guy. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon.
The serial style, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like one show. You have to wait till next week, and they're in a completely different planet, completely different adventure, fighting a completely different bad guy. That's what the collected edition is going to be about. But the 7th mini comic is going to be the prelude to my next campaign, the first full-size Tailless issue.
Dude, that's cool. So the size of the book is the same size. It's not mini in size, right? Or is it just mini?
No. Yeah, full US standard comic size, just mini as in the page count.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Maybe something you put in there in your campaign, make sure that's clear, because that's one thing that would probably my first thing. And I want to address, I didn't mean to call out Jims. It's just Jim was, I could have said Joe. I should have said Joe, but all you Jims out there, Jim's a great name. Jim's a great name. James is a great name. That's the same name, right? James?
Yeah.
Jimmy? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So with this, when do you plan to launch this thing?
So this will be, we'll be signing up until the end of June, start of July, one of those 2 weeks probably, and then we'll be launching. So this is going to be a summer book. So backers can expect to have this in their hand probably end of August through September, somewhere around there. It'll be out before the autumn. Cool. It's going to be a summer release. And so people can stay up to date with the campaign by signing up. Mm-hmm. And they're also, when they sign up, going to receive artwork by the guy who created the Mary Boys, big CG UK guy, Chubb. He's done this beautiful trading card and poster, and you'll get that for absolutely free. And I'll just say real quick while we're on this bit, this is the only time you're going to be able to get this trading card and poster, because it is exclusive to the sign-up tier. I won't be featuring it anywhere else on the campaign. But would you mind if I show you something else? Because I actually have another trading card I'd like to show you.
Yeah, sure. Show it off. While you talk about or bring that up, that book, all the links for today's books are in the description. So even if you don't see it up in the chat, like I know Herrenberg has it out there, but it's in the chat or in the description as well. So no worries. Yeah. I'll get you up here. Yeah,
bring a screen up for me. Yeah, so here's the artwork by Chubb. You'll be getting this on the trading card when you sign up. Yeah, one lucky backer will be able to purchase it on the actual campaign page, because I have the original artwork and I'll be selling the original artwork. But apart from that, sign up, because it'll be featured nowhere else, and I want everybody to get their hands on it because it's so beautiful. He's done his own version of Tailless alongside Harry of the Mary Boys. Nice. And then I showed this off on Don Chin's channel earlier, but I don't think many people saw it, so I'm really glad I get to show it off on this channel. This is a Preston Acevedo sketch for his trading card.
Cool. I'm gonna bring that closer here.
Cool,
man.
There we go. So this is just the sketch. He's going to be painting this up, so it's going to have the actual.
Got this Bucky O'Hare feeling. I just got a
Oh yeah. See, everyone says that to me. It's like Bucky O'Hare vibes.
Mm-hmm.
That show I never actually watched growing up, but I've had a look into it now, and I'm more than happy for TLS to be considered the CG Bucky O'Hare. I think that's quite good.
So this is a print or a poster, or how big is it?
Trading card. So I'll have at least 3 trading cards on my campaign, and they'll all be done by different artists, not myself. That's for 2 reasons. Number one's kind of to save time, because I'm doing everything else. Everything that goes into the book is all done by myself. But then number 2, I'm also a big fan of the guys I've got doing trading cards. So I personally want to see them do my characters in their style. So it's exciting for me, and I hope it's exciting for the backers. So we've got Preston, who's going to paint this one up. And the Chubb card was exclusive to the sign-up tier, this Preston card is going to be exclusive to my featured tier, which will feature the book, all the merch, and plus a little something extra, which I'll announce closer to launch. So yeah, that's the new trading card.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I mean, dude, I love the vibe, because you're like, just it harkens back to that, like you're like that old school Saturday morning cartoon where everybody's just built Thundercat style, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You name it.
Well, yeah, I don't watch Saturday morning cartoons to see skinny average blokes defending the galaxy. I want to see He-Man with a cat's head and a laser gun defending the galaxy. That's what I want to see, you know.
For sure.
That action figure of He-Man, though. Oh, did any of you guys try to like use that as proportion, like reference?
Oh no, I've never seen it.
You've never seen the He-Man action figure?
I didn't own one. It was before. It was a little bit before my time.
Google it. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I will. So we got a couple new people in the chat before we move on. We got dude.
Yeah, thanks, Frog G.
Amherst is up
for landing some things, and Harrowenberg. Thank you guys for wrenching.
For sure, I appreciate all you guys sticking around, and these guys appreciate it too, because they got some actually awesome projects to show off. So we're gonna probably switch gears to another like intermission question for both of you, and then we'll move on. But so me and Jeremy both of us enjoy world building. So maybe we have a question pertaining to world building. So I know you're both artists. You wrote your book too, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it pertains a little bit more to you, but I know Dean's got a lot invested into his designs into.
Oh, I have written my own book as well before. So
nice.
Yeah.
So you're in the same boat. So out of world building, what's your approach as far as do you start with something you like from other books, or maybe just an idea or a theme, or maybe you start with the character? But maybe tell me a little bit about how you guys build your worlds.
Right. Well, TLS is going back 6 or 7 years now, so the story has changed over the years. But from issue 1 to issue 7 is a 2-year period. So I literally, my approach to it was make it up as I go along. So I was learning to create comics by creating TLS. So issue 1, I just put whatever came to mind on paper, and then issue 2, something else, and then issue 3, something else. But then I linked issues 1 and 2, and then issue 4, something else. But I linked issue 3, like that. I just snowball it, build on it bit by bit, and then you're gonna see cool little almost Easter eggs in the stories I do that I'll harken to when I do like the first full-size TLS issue. I just planned, obviously the short stories I've done so far. Mm-hmm. So there's I want to do a setup, fight scene, conclusion in them. So there's very little time to do that within 8 pages. So
For sure.
I've done little bits of world building that will all come to a head in the first full-size Taylor's issue.
Nice.
Nice.
What about you, Dean? How do you start, wrapping your head around making a world?
Well, I think it really depends on the story itself, more so than anything, because with the development of the Embrace compared to the book that I wrote myself, it was completely different, But like the Embrace we came up with the character and the father and son and the ghost and the suit and all of that before we came up with the actual world, because it's essentially based in the real world, just with some supernatural elements thrown in.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to my book was almost entirely set on just like a fantasy world. So
Right.
I designed the entire, the environment and everything, all the creatures and everything that lived in it. And then I just introduced people and human characters and stuff, and then started writing. And, because I already knew what was in the world, I just kind of, where did they go once they got in there, and, what happened from there. And so I think it really depends on the story itself and what kind of story you're telling. Depends on, your approach towards the world building.
Yep.
Yeah.
The world creates your characters.
Yeah.
That's basically the equation.
Well, I ask this because I think I see a lot of people that go about it slightly different, where, the story can do it, but you can just go off of a theme. You can go off of one idea. And that's kind of how I built Star Circuit. Everything, I use cyberpunk because Star Circuit's about this kind of this idea of where do we find purpose, and naturally in the future we're going to get less and less from the loss of doing our jobs, and the more AI takes over, the less we're going to do, and so it just naturally fits. So from that theme, I built the world. Like the future didn't necessarily have to be when we're UBI and androids were taking over for our good, but also taking away our purpose. It just happened to be the best way to show that theme. So I feel like that's a way to go. But you're right, Jeremy. A lot of things come from story. Could just come from a sketch. I've seen guys just we draw one sketch and then build a whole world around one cool sketch idea.
Once you build that world around that sketch, then the new characters come into play. Like the world starts to inspire different personalities. You want to show this aspect of the world, I need to create a character that shows that aspect. If that's moving the story along, if that's deemed worthy.
Absolutely. Yeah. World building's our thing, and eventually we're gonna put a stamp. I'm gonna get an Art Bro stamp. We've been talking about it for a while. We're gonna make an Art Bro stamp, and we're gonna stamp people, whoever we approve. Art Bro approved.
How pedantic and pretentious does that sound?
It's pretentious as hell, but it's just funny. I'm gonna have it like a USA grade beef style stamp.
Nice.
We'll brand it. That's the plan. It's not to be pretentious. It's just to be like, oh, we like this,
Yeah.
And whenever you go around, you can talk about it. Be like, the Art Pros, come on, they liked it.
Yeah, get the Art Bros Gleam stamp.
Correct.
Yeah, guys, you can put that on your book covers. Art Bros approved.
Right. Or maybe on the back cover somewhere. Just a nice little stamp.
Yeah.
Are you the first?
You could do it. Put on the back of the book.
I see a conversation going on in the live chat over who wins in a fight between the Embrace, Taylor's, and Mavericks.
Well, the Embrace and Taylor's would both just stomp Mavericks into the ground and then go have beers.
Well, yeah, 100%.
That's harsh,
Suck
dude.
in, Noah.
Yeah, Noah's talking some smack.
GF says who'll be the first to have a stamp tattooed on themselves? Probably Jeremy. He'll tattoo himself.
I have. I mean, that's
most of his body.
My whole thigh. Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, Mavericks. Mavericks is a cool character. I've seen several people say good things about the book. So props to you, Noah. And so, Dean, are you ready to? You have your page up somewhere?
Yeah, I do.
No worries. I just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to go that route very soon.
Yeah. Cool.
So, George says he sees a doggy. Yes, dogs in the back. Usually, he's way more antsy about this time, and he's like clawing at the door, and I just seem like an animal abuser or something. But yeah, so right now he's chilling, so I'm glad. He's one of those dogs where he's like super aware of like when you want to do stuff. So even if I start talking on the phone, he'll be like, "Oh, you want to do shit? I'm going to come over here and mess with your conversation." So he'll do that when I'm on stream too.
Yeah,
I got the trailer open in a different video. Like a trailer open in a different window compared to the actual campaign because, yeah, we got that new trailer that I'm sure you saw on Twitter.
Yes. So you want me to just bring up this one, not wait for another one or something?
New trailer smell.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen this around.
Yes.
This is a beautiful, heartfelt trailer.
That's great.
This is what I've been calling the stretch goal teaser. So
Get ready to cry, boys.
Yeah. The embrace.
How'd
Yes.
you guys come up with that cloudy background for your logo?
Oh, I just I googled spooky sky and got it off YouTube and downloaded it.
Something about it feels just perfect though. It's like
Right?
I don't know about it. It's like very because it makes sense because of the whole. I'll let you talk about the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the original teaser, that had some sirens and things going through the background and stuff like that, because the story is very much like, well, it starts off, in general, it's not. It's a superhero story, from 10 pages onwards all the way through. But the opening and the world that we've set it all in, it's very sad and depressing. And what happened to cause this story in the first place was when the book opens, a year ago, David, the son of our main character, who was an 8-year-old, he was murdered. And the police are telling Clarence, the main character, that they're sorry and that they're going to, close the case and they can't solve it. And they're really like, there's nothing they can do. Anyway, this obviously pushes him over the edge because, it's obviously been a really bad year for him. And so he goes to take his own life at the last place that he was with his son. And when he does, he's stopped and saved by the ghost of David, who, tells him to stop what he's doing. And then when he comes into, like, as you do when you see your son, you freak out and you give him a big hug. But when he comes into physical contact with the ghost of his son, he is given a vision of what happened and, who killed David.
I don't have your screen yet, but I just want to let you know you weren't scrolling on screen.
No, yeah, that's fine. I was just trying to get to this page anyway.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Perfect.
Yeah. But
that's all. That sounds awesome. I've heard it several times and it still sounds awesome. So.
Yeah, well, that is literally the opening of the book. That is the first 10 pages. Like once he gets in the super suit, like the super suit made of ghosts, which you can see here on the screen. Mm-hmm. The idea is that Clarence is obviously a broken man and is at like the end of his rope. And his son, it's the story about how, our children are the best parts of us. And as you can see in the images, David is literally a light in the darkness, and the entire world is this terrible, dark, cruel place. But David is like the heart and soul of the story. And the whole thing is about how he is trying to come back and help his father become the man, go back to the man that he remembers him as, and, tries to save his dad the way that his dad couldn't save him. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think the connection is what is going to sell your book. Obviously, I've always said whoever's the IPs that are managing to pull this, traditionally they're the masculine and the feminine side of storytelling, which is the plot versus the character development. And it seems like you're about to merge these things awesomely. So I have good feelings that this book's going to be like a I don't know, just like a perfect mix. So don't want to interrupt anymore. But yeah, well, Odin's
awesome.
a fantastic writer. Like everyone who, if you've ever watched, even if you haven't read his books personally, you've probably seen those reviews going around YouTube, and you've definitely seen that Inch High video where he yells at everyone and says that no one can write, and then he specifically says Michael Odin can write. So like that's the guy I'm working with. That's the guy that wrote The Embrace, and so at the very least, even though I'm a first-time creator, this will be his third book, so you can trust that we're going to get a book out, and it's not really that much of a risk. I'm just drawing the pages. He's doing all of the logistical stuff behind the scenes. He's taking care of a lot of that.
Are you taking notes, dude?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's going to help me with my next campaign and everything because he's bloody good. Odin knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I almost I wish I was just a writer, because I feel like it's not. When I say just a writer, I don't
hashtag just a writer.
Just a writer.
It
It just means you have so much more time. Like, you can write way more books than you can draw. So that's that's what I'm jealous of. I said it in the chat the other night. I don't know if it's really true, but it's just the hard part about comics is drawing them personally, because you can write in any medium. You know what I mean? So making your story work into comics is a small feat. You can write something and transition it to anything, but the art for it is pretty tough.
Yeah, I agree.
Not to put down any other writers. Like, writing is hard in general, but
but it's just a faster thing to do. Like writing words as opposed to drawing pictures. It takes longer.
Right, and then managing a campaign and everything else. So.
I'm going to be working on my next book. Once I'm done with the pages of the Embrace, me and Kimasabi are working on a book together, and during that time, Michael will be sorting all the logistical stuff for the Embrace. Whereas before he goes on to his next book, and then we'll be moving back to the Embrace 2 before the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm sure. Switching back and forth is what you mean, right? Like going back and forth.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm doing the same thing with this side book called Left Hand Free that I'm working on right now. So that's like a short comic that I'll be doing, and then switching back to Star Circuit, and I'll probably go switch back to his book again, this other book. But it's fun times.
Mo Biggs says Bancroft makes a cameo in this book. Is this true?
Yeah, he does. Do you want to see? I can bring that up.
Sure. Is it just a decrepit hand, or what is it?
No, it's actually Bancroft.
Oh.
It's actually Bancroft. Hold on. I'll stop sharing this screen, and then I'll share up a different tab. Hold on, I've got to find it first because I don't want you to see any spoilers.
That's a useful thing. I might have to make EVS into like a cyborg or something.
Oh yeah.
It's just like randomly some.
I have a little frog that has robot legs just in the background of one of my stories as well. There's like a cyber frog homage. Where is it? Is this
Joe, have you been to the printers yet with Star Circuit?
No, I would. Like I said, I'm working on the UPC.
Can you add Bancroft into like a background? Like, can we just make this a CG thing and just everyone put Bancroft somewhere in the background or something like that?
Yeah, we can.
This isn't the only appearance of Bancroft either. Like, Bancroft appears multiple times in the book, and so does Luke Stone, as well as a. But like, I've filled the book with Easter eggs. No, I don't want to do that.
Is that him right there?
Yeah, there's Bancroft right there. That's and hilarious. On this page is page 2. This is actually page 2 of the book. And as you can see, I've already filled it with Easter eggs. Like, let's zoom in a bit closer. Kimasabi's on this page as well, right there.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He's a wanted. Yeah.
But his little avatar. Nice.
Yeah, this is page 2. And that's the very opening. But as I said, the book opens up with him going into the police station. And he obviously spends a lot of time there, like the way they're all talking to him and stuff. No spoilers. But he goes straight to the captain's office, and the captain is Luke Stone, which is I might actually just have that right here, won't I? Yeah, that's Captain Luke Stone right there. You know Luke Stone? Everybody knows Luke Stone from Hybrids. But we had to shave his beard because he's a police captain. But yeah, Luke Stone also features in the book.
Dude, that's so cool that you're putting him in there. I like the idea that Bancroft's in every book, though. It's kind of like, where's Waldo?
Even this, you got the Abductables too. That says Elysian Fields. That says Company Men. That's my book. That says Other Earth. Like all of the, like I filled it with Easter eggs. Like all of these things here are ridiculous. Like what do they say? You got the Jason Black Chronicles and the Art of Steak. Policing for Dummies. These are all on the captain's bookshelf. So
I like it.
That's the opening of the book, and that is the actual conversation where the captain is telling him that they're closing the case, that they're really sorry. And so from there on out, he goes onto what I was talking about. And then, when he gets the suit and everything, David, like, it's kind of hard to explain, because the Embrace itself, like, it isn't, it isn't the superhero that you see. You know, like the Embrace, like if it happened a thousand years ago, it could have been a spooky ghost knight or a ghost cowboy, or, you know, it really depends on like what, because he only looks like a superhero because David was into comic books. You know, like as a little kid, he would steal all his dad's comic books and read them and stuff like that. He loved superheroes. And so that's why the Embrace looks like a superhero. And like he's not necessarily the only Embrace to ever exist. He's not necessarily the last Embrace to ever exist. Like it could have happened multiple times throughout history, kind of like Ghost Rider or something like that. You know, there could be multiple versions of it. And yeah, like there's a lot of things that we can't, like I haven't mentioned the villains at all because I'm not allowed to, you know, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that once he gets in the suit, it just turns into a straight up superhero book with some of the most crazy things. And the villain, the big villain, is one of my biggest inputs to the book. It's why I'm co-creator and not just the artist. And when you guys see this villain, you're going to love it. I know you are.
Dean, as long as you're explaining whatever you're explaining, do you still have some art? I can bring it up myself because I want to put all these words to images.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm kind of like I'm disabled in some way, you know. I have a disability where I literally, dude, I know how many pages are into my book, but I literally have to put it on the screen visually in like a map for me to count. Because I'm just that visually inclined.
I know. I do this exact same thing. I have to mark everything as left or right when I'm like mapping out the pages, because otherwise I just lose track of it. No matter how many times I remind myself, you know, odd numbers are this and even numbers are that. Yeah,
that's a good idea because it's like it's something you can easily screw up. So double check.
Yeah. So I always mark every page when writing a script.
So another little segue before we move on. We got a couple people calling out a couple things in here. Well, one, we've got Phoenix giving a congrats. Thanks, dude. 1K. We couldn't do it without you. I know you've retweeted and hyped us up for a long time, and really appreciate it. Heroin Berg's already saying Backcraft in the background confirmed. Star Circuit. I didn't say that, but I could maybe chapter 2. We'll see. Riverbend Bear showed up a little bit ago, and up here, yeah. CG Easter eggs, yes. I would have way more like Dean, but I'm not as young as Dean.
Well, there's countless more, you know. Basically, if the backgrounds are packed, you know, if there is a background that has anything in it, like a bookshelf or graffiti, because there's a lot of graffiti, like walls and things like that, and alleyways and stuff like that throughout the Embrace. Read them, look at them. I guarantee you're going to have a laugh. Like I've got Inchai Comic Guy in there. I've got Blue Samurai. I've just basically anyone I know. I've put Kemosabe in there. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to put you guys in there too. Like I still haven't finished, you know. So there's more that's
awesome
in there.
I would love to be in it, man.
That's
I'm
really
just going to keep putting them in until I
have me in a karate gi. Can you have me fight in a karate gi? And,
yeah, you can just be one of the thugs. It's fine.
Hell yeah.
You can just have a karate thug.
Right. I am only a green belt though, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's hilarious. So I wanted to bring up a couple things because I want to have this double feature kind of show, have a little bit more interaction. That's what I wanted to bring up, like going back and forth a little bit. So I wanted to see if there was maybe we can talk about like maybe each of your favorite comic books. Like if you had to pick one and say this is my favorite or one that I'd recommend to somebody hands down, you know, no matter what, you're going to probably enjoy it. Maybe you have one of those picks. And it's anybody's game. Even Jeremy can answer this one. I allow it.
It depends. It depends who the person is. You know,
okay,
like
so
I would recommend a different book to like my sister than I would to my mate.
Okay. But as far as like, you know, those books that are like, they elevate it beyond like just a book. It's become so exciting, so adventurous that I feel like there's some books out there that pull that, even if it doesn't hit all demographics. It's probably just a good recommendation. You know what I mean?
I do have one. Sorry.
Shoot.
I had to go back for that. My bad. Keep going.
Yeah, so
Batman
for me,
versus Predator.
What'd you say?
Batman versus Predator.
Really? That's the
Yeah,
one.
it is a great book. I absolutely have always loved it since I was a little kid, and it ends with Bruce Wayne beating the crap out of a predator with a baseball bat in his front yard.
I've not actually read it, so now
It is fantastic.
Yeah, just wait until he finds one of the engineers. Let's see what happens. You know.
What's up with you, Arya? What's your book? Or two?
I got good on. I always say my favorite book is Sensational She-Hulk because I love John Byrne. I love She-Hulk. But I think the best book for someone who's not a comic fan to experience comics first is Excalibur, the original Alan Davis run.
Interesting.
Because I think the sort of family dynamic of the X-Men and them learning their powers and becoming a super team. That is, in my opinion, the most quintessential comic book story like out there, along with sort of the Spider-Man origin story. Excalibur, if you were to like just pick up the first few issues, they do that sort of family dynamic and develop their powers and all that, like in rapid speed. Like they do it all again in a more modern age, and they do it quickly, and then they get into all the goofy comic book fun that series divulges into. So I think start with Excalibur #1. It's a good entry point.
Okay, that's one I don't hear very often. I mean,
they're sort of like established heroes already, but they all move to England and start the new team Excalibur. So they've all got to learn their place in the team and learn how to use their powers with each other. And it's essentially just it is a reboot of the X-Men theme based in the UK, but it gives the reader the chance to experience the X-Men story again, just through a smaller, more condensed team of heroes.
Well, you both have sold me on books. Now I got to go buy random other books to make sure you're not pulling my leg. What about you, Jeremy? You have one?
I remember reading The Death of Superman and the comic where Batman gets his back broken by Bane.
What is that called?
I forget.
I don't know why I'm blanking on it. It's the wine.
But the Death of Superman comic really hit me when I was a kid. But I was like, yeah, this is way, way too advanced for me to really get. But I read through it a couple times because I love the artwork.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I think a good entry, I like the one-shots that are really good for non-comic readers, because a lot of what non-comic readers don't get, and here we are, Noah's in with the save, Nightfall. And George had it beforehand. Sorry, George. It goes to you, George. It goes to you. Noah, you can back up.
Just throw Noah under the bus.
Type Nightfall again, and I'll kick you, bro. No, we'll say I'll time you out. So my book, I like one shots, but also just I think the non-comic readers, they're not used to like this continuous thing. So even a mini series is good. But you guys read Reborn, Capullo's thing with Mark Miller?
Yeah, of course I do.
That was a good first. I mean, who hasn't? Yeah, right. But I think that's a good one for anybody. It's kind of got this mix of fantasy and like realism. It's grounded.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea of like what happens in the afterlife and everything as well. Like, it's a good story.
I just like because it's like that's what Mark Miller does best is like really grounded stuff that branches off to like fantasy land really, really quickly. But because it starts you off in like a grounded area, it's easy for non-readers to get into quickly. So that's pretty awesome, guys. I liked hearing that. I'm trying to find a rhythm with the questions we ask here, because like sometimes we're all over the place, which I kind of like because it makes every show a little different. But so anything else we want to talk about as far as perks? Because Arya is not in the stage of talking about perks. But what about you?
Yeah, I definitely do. There's obviously we've got a couple different variants for the book. You got the standard edition with 2 different covers and the special edition with 2 different covers, which you can see here. But the main the things that you're going to miss out on, because we've only got a couple of days left before we close, is if you back the one of each tier, you get the Spectral edition for free. You get one of every single cover, even though there's only 3 of them in the thumbnail. The 4th cover was like halfway through the campaign. But you get the Spectral Edition for free, which is a special limited edition, super like ultra rare version of the Embrace, all in black and white. And that, like, when we go in demand, that won't exist anymore. And you can also order that same package, like the featured tier, but signed by me. Everything gets signed by Odin anyway, but you get this extra gets sent to Australia, and it gets signed by me, Clayton, and Corey Barton, as well as Odin. Yeah,
dude, that's really cool. But I don't see the opposite. I don't see a digital tier. What is up with this? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
every book comes with a digital tier.
I don't see a solo digital tier for. Let's just say there's, some poor guy in Florida.
Nope, sorry, man.
What, Joe? What?
Well, I was talking about me, dude. I bought a house.
I don't do the digital. Like, when it comes to digital tiers, like, we constantly have this conversation behind the scenes and things. I end up landing on the side of no digital tier, but obviously, if you back a physical copy, you get the digital tier with it, because more often than not, the digital tiers, they aren't high sellers. Like, you get a couple of them here and there, and I mean, if like our book is only $20 on its own, the digital tier would have been what, 10, 15. So why not just spend the extra $5 to $10 and get a physical copy with your digital copy as well?
It's the only argument there is the shipping for us folks across the world.
I don't think
we're actually shipping is sorted. Shipping is 100% sorted because we're going through Critical Blast, just like Company Men. It's going to be cheap as hell. So if you go and check it out right now, no matter where you are in the world, it is incredibly cheap.
Well, you may have just sold me because I didn't know you guys were using Critical Blast like Chemo is. So I'm glad because I haven't backed yet, and I'm still on the fence. No, I'm not on the fence. I was just waiting for the right moment. I don't like backing right away. I like backing when it can be impactful. To save my dollar.
Make a spectacle of it.
Well, it's not an ego thing, Dean. It's I just it is. I'm not saving it for the minute he's going to 10K. I'm saving
it for the show, so you get the gleamage.
Right, the gleamage. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't count if nobody sees it happen.
Oh yeah.
Correct. So, and I totally didn't pay off Aria to buy one of your books tonight. But
what?
No.
No. I bought the book because my girlfriend was nagging me to take that step and finally.
Yeah, that was something that none of us saw coming, but multiple people's girlfriends. Back the Embrace for your girlfriend. Apparently she's going to love it because many creators' misses have seen it and gone, oh, what's that? Can you buy that for me? So, and that includes Aria and B-Rose, who's in the chat right now, but both of them had their girlfriends turn around and tell them to buy this. So if you
called the Embrace. That's cute.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason why.
Has to be, right?
And it's dude, you just walk if you're a single father, you're walking your kid down the street, or the park, you're gonna attract some ladies. And this is the equivalent of you being a single father walking your child down
the single father of comic books.
All your girlfriends come in, just go Embrace.
Dude, I'm gonna say you should use this. It's definitely the single father comic book.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next video I make. Don't worry, we're gonna make an ad for that now.
Definitely put my name on it, please. It's not about ego, dude. All right, so I definitely am excited for everything to come from this book. You said it's 40 pages, something like that, or is it?
Yeah, it's 40 pages of story plus even the standard edition has like a little fan art gallery and like a thank you and everything at the back of it, making it a 48-page book. But it's 40 pages of story plus extras, and if you buy the special edition, you get a copy of the script and a bunch of character designs and all kinds of extras in the back of that one, making that one a 60-page book. But if we get to 15K, which is our last stretch goal, unless we shoot past that, then we'll add some more, but I doubt it. If we get to 15K, we will be adding a short story to the end of every single one of these books, which is it's a story based when David was alive, and it'll be the most in-depth story compared to everything else when you actually get to see David alive with his father. And it's a story about David sneaking into his dad's room and taking a comic book, and then when he opens that comic book, we're going to get a second artist, and it's all of a sudden I'm not going to draw the rest of the pages, and it's going to be a comic book inside a comic book about a fictional superhero in the world of the Embrace.
Nice.
And then
cool idea.
David getting caught stealing his dad's expensive comic book. But yeah, it's actually a really beautiful story, but I'm all for the comic book inside a comic book gimmick, like that's really cool. And I want to add that to my comic, but
For sure.
We've got to get to that.
I've come up with a couple of questions, or at least just one, but that's cool. I like that meta idea of comic in a comic. So your interior art, so it brings up the question of, are you working digitally? And if you are, how are we getting interior art pages?
Oh, I'm doing interior art pages traditionally. So that the thumbnail is one of my digital inks. I ink digitally because I don't trust myself to ink like traditionally. I just haven't had enough practice with it or anything like that. I do make a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of Control Z and undo while I'm digitally.
You can do it.
So
yeah, one day.
interior art page will be pencils then?
Yeah. If you actually click on that, it specifically says pencils in the description. But yeah, that is 11 by 17 traditional.
Do you have any
pages.
Do you have a example of it on the page somewhere? Is that a possibility?
Not on the page. I can get one up though.
That would be cool, because I think that would sell it easier. I mean, you always want to give what they are going to get, and for me, you got to think about it. Like, inks are cleaner, but for a guy like me, I like pencils. I rarely get inked pages, so I like pencils. I buy pencil work way more than I buy ink work. So for me, it's cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. Let me just open it, because I've only got a couple of penciled pages here, but I'll pick a nice one. Let's have a look.
His most recent comment is very important.
Stop gatekeeping, Joe.
It's only called The Embrace because Ghost Dad was associated with Bill Cosby.
Oh,
dude.
That's the best one I've ever heard.
That's very good. It's very good. It definitely beats
don't
my
use
single
that for
father
your commercial.
No, I won't. Don't worry about that.
Or do you?
Here you go. Here's an example of one of my penciled pages. And this is actually the vision. When we talk about how he is given a vision of David's death, this is actually one of the pages of the vision. And you see David getting grabbed. And I'll actually zoom in so you guys can get a better look at it.
Cute.
But, yeah, you got David getting grabbed, and then the embrace wrapping around Clarence for the first time. And then it goes back to the vision. Like, this will all be colored with like a glow, to make it look ethereal. And so you can tell the difference between what's real and what's not. And then you see the two people, like 2 of the 4 gang members, like their identities are kept secret on purpose. You learn who they are as the story progresses. And then you see this guy's face, who is the actual guy that, like, we cut to black and do the whole slit thing, like he slit David's throat or something with that knife. We're not really sure, but like he killed David. And yeah, like this is in the vision. And cool. Then the story goes from there as to why, like David is just an innocent 8-year-old kid. And this is like a gang crime. Why did this happen? But yeah, this is one of the penciled pages, and we're going to pick out the 10 best of them, So, okay. Because, obviously some pages are better than others, but we'll pick out the best. You don't get to pick. No, you get to pick. You do get to pick. We're gonna, because it's limited to 10, but then it's like first come, first serve. If you were the first one to get it, you're gonna get the first choice of the 10 best pages, and then second, third, fourth.
Dude, crazy! I thought that was pretty cool. That you even had originals. Not everybody does it, so I'm glad you're working traditionally in some form or fashion. That's awesome. See, Joe, the other Joe, the Joe bro is here.
Hail, Joe.
Hail to all Joes out there, not Jims, only Joes. So we're going to do a little bit of another switcheroo, if we could, before we move on. Arya, I have a couple questions for you and your book. So we're releasing, do you have a launch date? I know we said you're launching in a vague time, but
yeah. No, I haven't settled on an exact date. Just it'll really depend on when I get the work done, because I want to have 90% of the work done before we launch, and I'm almost there. So end of June, start of July. That's when we'll be launching.
Cool. And maybe that's a good transition back to Dean. Dean, do you have a progress kind of slider somewhere on the page, or can you tell us how far you guys are through?
There's not one on the page, because Odin takes, I'm doing obviously all the drawing, and Odin's taking care of the page. So rather than me just updating him and telling him to update that, we've just been mentioning it on the Comics Mate streams and stuff daily. But I was on schedule to have the entire book finished by the end of the campaign. And then because we had to slow down for all the extras and things, because I designed all the metal cards and the pogs and things like that, now we're on schedule to be finished. Like I'll be finished. Odin will be still sorting everything out behind the scenes, but I'll be finished by the end of next month. Like everyone, we truly believe that everyone's going to have their book by June at the latest.
Dude, so you're having that kind of all set out in front of you is great. It's great.
Yeah,
to
I'm
know.
more than halfway through. Like I'm already more than halfway through with everything I'm done. I'm on the last dozen pages or so of penciling and inking and things like that. And Paul with the colors is right behind me.
And that's the way to go to get this stuff done. Like for me, like for I'd be freaking out if Star Circuit wasn't anywhere near done and I was already funded. I got so much pressure already. I work okay under pressure, but I don't know. Just there's something about it where I work better if like my brain is free of the outside world. I can get lost a little bit easier in the work, but that's cool. That's cool that you guys are both on track and planning to have majority of it done, really quickly. So that's awesome. Mo is going off on B-Rose in the chat. B-Rose is at first I thought he was just crying, but now he's crying laughing, but it's pretty hilarious either way. I'm glad we got Mo Biggs in the house. He's one of the best chat members around.
Love
so yeah, so everyone go sign up for Tailless. Do you have your page up again? Can we show it?
Yeah. Let me bring it up.
In fact, maybe I should bring it up. I don't think you need to because I'll just do something here while we have the opportunity here. So the book is, do you know how many pages total that would add up to be?
Yeah, so it's going to be over 50 pages of story. So the 7 mini comics, they're going to add up to over 50 pages. And then on top of that, we got that massive bonus material section. So I'm predicting the bonus section is going to be, again, anywhere between 30 and 50 pages long. So this is going to be an 80 to 100 page book at the end of it.
Awesome.
It depends how much I condense the idea behind the bonus section is you're going to see everything. And then it's just up to my editing, how I condense that. Depends how many pages that bonus material section is. But story content, you're going to get over 50 pages.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. It's cool to know because with the mini comic kind of concept, you're like, oh, how many does that really add up to being? You had to do some calculus. But good to know. That's awesome. That's substantial. My book is only 30 something pages. And if I could do it again, because I was planning to, like pitch it somewhere, I didn't know it was going to be this crowdfunding thing where if I knew that, I would have made it a more substantial chunk. But I'm glad it went the way it did because everyone that gets the book is getting it quick. So that's good.
Oh, Star Circuit's going to be great, man.
Oh, dude,
it is.
Kemosabe just doesn't shut up about how much he loves it. Like you've heard him before, like because he did your like editing and your script reading and things like that for you. And he praises it. He hates how talented you are.
Oh well, I appreciate it. I mean, it's something that like you don't really know until someone else does read it. Somebody that really reads comics. A lot of my test reads were not huge comic readers, but not like us. You know what I mean?
I had
Jeremy included.
I had a few different people. Like some of them were normies and some of them were comic book nerds. But it feels different when a comic book nerd, because they know what they're talking about when it comes to comic books and things. So if they say your stuff is good, it means a lot more than just your girlfriend's best friend or some shit.
For sure.
I tend to get the family to read my books before I go print. And
my family don't care about my comics.
Tap on the shoulder from my mother, like, "Oh, that's very good, well done."
My mum and dad, like, they didn't even back the embrace.
Joe's parents are a little bit different. His mom is.
Well, my mom's an art teacher, so she's all about what I'm doing. But
she's known for fixing art.
My parents
No,
still tell me to get a real job. So
No, she's awesome. His little brother was an artist and drew something before. I think Joe told the story before where she fixed it, and then his dad's like, "Wait a minute, what'd you just do?"
No, dude, that is me. That is me.
Oh, that was your work, not
Yeah,
not
yeah.
mine.
No, I drew this. Dude, I drew this baller horse for my dad. It's like a sweet.
Do you hear that? This baller whore.
Dude, if you've seen this horse, you'd be like, "This is a baller horse." I'm glad.
okay.
Like, I would sell this thing for $80. And gave it to my mom or for my dad, and she like, "So I'm just gonna make a sepia tone now," or she was like, I'm gonna modify it a little bit. I'm gonna do a little wash." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's my art." Change
Oh
this shit.
wow.
She's awesome.
Sorry, mom.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
No,
Yeah, she's great.
like my dad can draw. Like that's why I know how to draw. I never went to art school or anything like that. But he's not an artist of any kind. Like he's a truck driver, you know. So I never. My entire life, even nowadays, when half the time, you know, sometimes my dad makes more money than I do, but sometimes I make a lot more than he does, you know, depending on the month. But I still get told to get a real job and go just work for a factory or something like that. And it's no, I don't want to.
That's because you're 22, though, dude. It's gonna be,
No, yeah, but like every single time I ever talk to my parents, that's pretty much all they say. You still drawing those cartoons? You actually get paid for that? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Cartoons. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I feel like
Triggered.
yeah, that's my whole family as well. Like they support, but like they no clue like what.
no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. So I think we all get a little bit of that. So I'm glad Kemosabe gave a little bit of the review. Him being a reviewer of comics, like means a lot to me. Not that Jeremy's approval wasn't, but Jeremy gave me approval in different ways. You know. Maybe we should get the stream.
A good like AA style meeting, like therapy for me. Like I've just realized I'm not the only one.
Oh, dude, this is right. Maybe I should have this talk with everybody. We should just come up with all these embarrassing family truths.
So, what does your family think of what you do for a living? And then we can all just have like a struggle session.
Yeah, exactly.
Good question. Yeah. Right. So how were you abused by your art when you were a child? Yeah. So it's a weird thing for everyone, I'm sure, that is actually making comics out there, especially indie guys. Like when you're not bringing in the big bucks, when you're bringing money, no one like thinks twice about anything. But when you're doing it for free or doing it for low cash or for the love of it, people question your motives for some reason. You're like, "Oh, dude, what you like golf?" No one's questioning why you're not playing golf for no reason on the weekends.
It's way more fun than golf.
Yeah, for sure. So everybody's got these stories. Yeah. I feel like golfers. I'm not going to talk about golf anymore.
I just lost any golf support. But yeah, golf's not a sport.
Dude, golf isn't a sport. Golf is.
I just do not understand golf at all. It seems like
Mario Golf is a sport.
Yeah, Mario Golf is coming out next month. The new one. Dude.
Hell yeah!
Heck yeah! If you guys are into Nintendo, hell yeah! I don't know if I'll be able to play it, but I will try. You got a Switch, Dean?
I have a really expensive PC, and I play the Switch way more than I do the computer. So
it's the truth, dude. Speaking of young looking characters, Dean, there's this character in Quest 64. You ever played that game from back on the N64 days?
Yeah.
But he's kind of how I imagine you might be, or at least our image of you. He's like this small kid. He does a lot of magic, but he's got this cowlick in the back of his head. It's kind of like
actually like my cartoon. Yeah, you can, because B Rose has seen me. Michael Odin has obviously seen me. You know, like I work with the dude. Like Kim Sabi's seen my face and things. Like I look surprisingly a lot like this. Like if you give that little cartoon a bit of stubble, like that's what I look like.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Good to know. Good to know with the beanie and all.
yeah. I've actually got that exact beanie on my head right now.
Dig it. So, all right. Did you used to be like a rock star, or what's up with the hair?
Yeah.
What's up with the hair? Wow, he could be donating it, Joe.
I'm
like
on-
I did.
right?
I'm on a
be some kind of
celebration. I got a
hippie?
box of wine over here, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. All right, yeah. What's up with the hair here, Arya?
Yeah, I am a big metalhead. So,
Yes.
Nice.
yeah. It's extra fun to swing your head around when you got full head of hair.
Yes.
Yes.
I
But
agree.
you're more on the European side of it.
What?
My
Of
favorite
metal.
band is Kiss.
Say it
So,
again, sorry.
my favorite band is Kiss. You know, Gene
Oh,
Simmons.
okay.
Paul
Yeah.
Stanley.
So yeah, that's straight metal. Yeah, classic.
Yep.
I feel like
How big's your tongue?
Is that it?
not
All right.
not legendary.
Yeah.
I'm not
Now
a
legendary.
long lost child or anything of Gene Simmons. So
All right. I do want to bring up a couple other things before we end this thing because we go usually to 8:30 when we do a double stream. But
Yeah, I've got to go straight from here to another stream as well at 8:30. So
oh, sweet. So let's end this thing very quickly.
Hey, Joe, real quick,
yeah.
can you do this without
Yeah.
it hurting? Can you pull your bottom lip without it hurting?
I can't do it right now. I bit my inside. If you guys want to see this, I bit the inside of my
Show
gum this
us.
weekend. It's fucking gross, dude.
3-pointer.
Can't see it, but it's like it's a gouge. Like it's gonna take a week to heal. It's nuts. I will do it.
I was gonna ask you about that, but yeah, sorry.
What was that question about? What? Such a random question. So I'm
You
looking
missed it.
up.
You'll rewatch it. You'll see it. That was a 3-point shot, dude.
Okay. Was that for like some sort of nag on me or something?
oh
No.
shit, Oliver's right. Is that the Ninja Turtles arcade behind you, Jeremy?
Yes, it is.
That is awesome.
oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's supposed to come over and beat my high score, but he still hasn't.
Yeah,
Dude.
man. Those old arcade games, the old Ninja Turtles, beat 'em ups, like Turtles in Time and stuff. They are some of the best games ever made.
Yeah, it's got both of them, the original one and Turtles in Time and the what was it, hyperspace time travel, whatever it was.
Yeah, something.
But
Like
yeah,
that. I can't remember what it's
they're
called.
both in the cabinet, but they have a new one coming out.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna buy that for sure.
That thing's gnarly looking. But yeah, Joe.
Indeed.
Onward.
Onward. Yes, I'm doing a little bit of behind the scenes stuff right here. However, the Ninja Turtle game, the sequel, what is it? Shredder's Revenge or something's
Yep.
coming out?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That looks pretty sweet. Do we know if that's a legit sequel from Turtles
It's
in
like
Time?
it's like a sequel / just reimagining of the same sort of stuff. Like it's been so long that you just call it a sequel to save confusion.
Well, I guess that's the way it goes. Like I
Yeah.
like to keep it simple. So
And yeah, the Simpsons arcade game, what Mo said, that's one
Yes.
of my favorite from back in the day as well.
Yeah, that was in the Little Caesars next to the comic book shop I used to go and Dungeon Master. But yeah, was the
Hell yeah.
Simpsons one.
I did a similar. I played Simpsons this weekend. My friend's got a Raspberry Pi or whatever.
Yeah,
like the arcade
yeah.
machine. And he's got everything. So I was like, I'm definitely playing Simpsons while I'm over here. So
Hell yeah.
Nice.
killer stuff. I just want to bring this up, guys. There
Oh,
you go.
thank you, Joe.
Oh,
Thank you
wow.
very much.
You sold me with
Appreciate it.
Critical Blast, dude. I'm only doing this for Critical Blast.
Yeah, well, look forward to that because everyone who, obviously he does this awesome packaging setup, but because we're some of his first, he's got this new thing he's testing out where it comes in this plastic bag that has the Embrace logo on the outside of it and everything. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing all that come out finished because
Heck yeah.
yeah, any international comic creators should definitely go and talk to Critical Blast. It's like less than half. On average, most of you guys end up paying less than half what you used to. It's insane how good his postage is.
I will be just because I need the time to do other things, but next time I will be using him 100%. I talked to him about it already. I will be using him for everything. I just don't have time, and he's got cheap prices. He's beaten Malin.
Yeah, he's beaten Malin by a lot. It was actually shocking how much cheaper he was than Malin.
Yeah.
So
You're like, what kind of genius is this guy doing? The
Yeah.
black magic he's brewing.
it's
Coleman's
black magic
bringing
or
up,
something.
he's bringing up X-Man Arcade was great too. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep,
right.
yep. Who was your
Let's
character?
go back to the olden days of video games.
I mean, I really like playing Colossus just because how he sounded.
I like Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was great.
Indeed. Both good options. There's a place in Orlando called Joysticks that
Yep.
it's like an arcade bar, but it's kind of like Instagram-y. They had like a bunch of setups where you could take pictures around, like cool.
I like the place in Kissimmee better.
I don't know. You're gonna have to bring up the name, otherwise
The
I won't be able to tell
arcade
you.
bar, I think, is literally what it was called, but it was
Oh, Player One.
Player One. Yeah, that was it.
Either
Well,
way,
yeah.
these bars are pretty sweet.
I agree with Coleman in the chat because Gambit was always my favorite X-Men, but he's only in half the games. You know, he gets jibbed half the time.
True. Skip is here. Skip, thanks for showing up, bro.
Yeah, I
Skip,
think I agree. Who was it? Was it Bancroft or someone that was saying like Cyclops is kind of like the most efficient but the dumbest X-Men?
Yeah, I'd believe that.
Cyclops is the dumbest.
All he does is stand around and look at stuff. So he's the most efficient, but he's also kind of like.
No, isn't he kind of team lead? Can you be dumb and be a leader? I don't think you can be dumb and be a leader.
I think it was B Rose's favorite, so that's why I'm bringing this up. But I think he left early.
Oh shoot, we got an appearance by Prime Time. What's up? The Mole Compass is here to straighten us out. I'm glad he recently had me on his channel. I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody who's here. So at least we got. I didn't check, but I should have checked while I had it on screen. But I might be the only backer. But either way, do you want me to bring that up again, Dean? For see what we got. See what we're at.
Yeah, you can. I've got it here already, like on my screen.
Oh, cool. Let's do that.
Yeah,
it takes me time to find things.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that was real big to make the Cyclops joke. Okay, all right. That's what it was.
Yeah, so everyone can see that. Yeah, 185 was the last time I checked, which was just before we started the stream.
Nice. Very cool. Any magical backers?
Two magical backers. Awesome. Thank you all very much. So, yeah, we're closing in on 11K now, like 10,576.
That's the Art Bros Gleam, all right?
That is awesome. As I said, it's my first time, so thank you all very much. Like, I am so excited. Like, it's always been my childhood dream to do comics. I've done animation, I've done tattoos, I've done all kinds of other art things, but it was always I wanted to do comic books. So, yeah, thank you all.
Glad you're here, and I'm glad you made it to this milestone, because for me it's the same thing. It's a debut book for me. What about you, Aria? Is this your first IP?
Oh yeah, for sure. Taylor's is the book I made to learn how to create comics. So you're going to see the very first book I've ever created, all the way up to the most recent book I've ever created, all in one collection.
That's what I'm looking forward to the most about Taylor's, is seeing, like, I'm going to go straight from the first one all the way to the last one just to have a look at the difference.
Yeah, completely different books by that point. Yeah, they look completely different.
Hell yeah. Dude, it's a cool thing to see through any series, but I'm stoked for everybody's book. I'm stoked to see what Jeremy comes up with on his new pages. And my lovely GF is here. Sherry's here.
Sherry.
What's up, everybody? So we're about to end.
His guardian force.
She's showed up to hear me say goodbye. And so tonight I want to.
No, that's her saying, "Get off stream and come out here."
I know. Hello. So thanks for coming on, guys. We have a lot of new books this year. Like, there's so many out there. So anybody getting any kind of funding is really impressive, because there's a lot more competition these days. So thanks for coming on our little Art Bros adventure. We're getting better at this thing. I think now that I hit 1K, I will be going to buy StreamYard, I think. And that way we can make this a little bit more legit. Be able to multi-stream cast or whatever you want to call it.
I just did that. It's awesome, man. You get all kinds of little extras. Design your little logo. You can get a little brand in the corner.
Oh, I got a brand.
Yeah, you got all that stuff.
I got a brand.
I got a brand, bro.
I got to make some changes.
Yep. So I also have another announcement. I have Ear Juice, who is a Australian based kind of music artist, and he's going to be mastering the tracks for us for the mixtape that's coming out.
Nice.
So that's going to be awesome. I didn't have a mastering kind of outlet before, so it's probably going to sound shitty if I released it like that. But now that I have them getting mastered, it should be really nice for everyone's listening experience. So yeah, maybe we can sound off for everybody and see where we can find each other on the internet. We'll start with you, Dean. Where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at ComicsMate because I am the co-host with Kimasabi on ComicsMate Live every weekday, as well as on Twitter. You can find me at Dean James Comics, or you can follow the ComicsMate Twitter account as well, which is just basically all of the indie comics community. You know, if you tag ComicsMate, it's going to retweet your stuff. So, yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah. I love your show, man. Someone called me out on it before. I like your show more than a lot of other shows. I would even call it number one, but I don't want to boast.
Put the pressure on, right?
Yeah, put the pressure on. Yeah, keep it up, dude.
Thanks.
I need entertainment. So Arya, what about you?
Yeah, guys, you can find me absolutely everywhere online if you just search for @Aria_Blackness. That's on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, @Aria_Blackness. It's the same tag, absolutely everywhere. Check me out on my YouTube in particular. I host my own show like this where I talk with other creators. I do something every weekend, usually double show, Saturday and Sunday. And then every other Monday, I host the Bargain Bin Show, which is one of the two big CG UK shows. We're getting bigger. People who are coming on our show are starting to see backers now. So we're getting some good eyes on our projects, and there's a good UK scene. So check out @Aria_Blackness on YouTube.
Heck yeah, dude. I will send everyone there. I'm gonna go check it out right after this stream as well. And Jeremy, what about you, bud?
I am Zaid Studios, so you can also go just about anywhere on the internet as far as Google is considered. But so your Twitters, Instagrams, your YouTubes. We also have a show every Friday at 8:00 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Times. So you guys can jump over there and catch up updates on my IP Beckoned and what we're doing with that. It was and is a game going forward in timeline, comic book series going backwards in the timeline. So I'll be giving some more updates as soon as I get at least some finished artwork done so I can start putting up that Indiegogo page.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
So that's pretty much the show, guys. You can find me at Catapano Art pretty much everywhere. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also find me right here on YouTube, Joe Catapano. So thanks for subbing. Anybody else who is new to the channel, please sub. Please like the video. I've got a lot of art tutorials, plenty of other streams with other creators, once with me and Jeremy, but also I go way, way back and do art tutorials on comic penciling and recently on comic coloring. So check it out. Appreciate everybody that came in the chat, said hello. And yeah, we're going to close this thing out with a little teaser from the mixtape that's going on Star Circuit. You get this mixtape no matter how you back Star Circuit, you get this mixtape. So I'll see you guys next week. See you for a new Art Bros.
Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
Bye, guys.